just like to welcome you all initially. It is 6 p.m. It's Tuesday, May the 7th, 2019, and this is the town meeting. The agenda consists of three parts. There's the opening remarks by the Mayor, and I have a prepared statement. It makes it easier for the clerk to capture those comments that I make. The confirmation of the minutes from last year, there is some copies here. We hadn't handed them out initially. Didn't want people rustling or being distracted by my entertaining wit in a moment. And then they'll be taking questions at the end. So I'll begin. Thank you. Oakham Town Council is a parish council consisting of 12 councillors and 2 paid officers. The 12 volunteer councillors are elected by the people of the town, and over the last year the council has been pretty stable with little or no movement as regard to vacant seats. However, this May 2019 we have seen new councillors join the council.
Yes, where are they? Yeah, where are they?
I welcome you to the council and thank you for your commitment. Some councillors chose not to stand this May. Some of these councillors have been in public office for years, and I extend the sincere thanks and appreciation from the council. The councillors, I have stated, who all give their time for free, meet once a month at the main council meeting, and many attend another monthly meeting as well as other committees, working groups, as well as being representatives on outside organisations. Their report and agenda writing, preparation and administration is all conducted in their own time when not at meetings. So as a councillor, if you attend the 2 standard meetings per month, you are on 1 committee, 1 working group and 1 outside organisation. That is around 60 hours of their time per year. You can double that for agenda and report reading and administration. If all councillors do this, as a ballpark figure, this means that the councillors are contributing 36 weeks of volunteer work to this town as an organisation per year. Based on a Member of Parliament's pay, that would equate to £55,000. Councillors are encouraged to undertake training, and some training is now becoming mandatory, like the General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR. In 2018-19, there were only 6 councillors that attended any form of training. However, as the council has adopted a more pragmatic and structured approach, the expectation is that the councillors will undertake councillor training, GDPR and, where appropriate, chairman training in 2019-20. I should point out that having done councillor and chairman training is not the end. I have also attended both of these training requirements twice since becoming a councillor in 2010, as the rules, legislation and guidelines do keep changing and all councillors should remain up to date. Councillors can undertake additional training outside the council. For instance, I undertook the Introduction to Local Council Administration, the ILCA, ILCA. This, I might add, is at their own expense and only costs around £120, as well as their own time again. You are given 12 months to complete the course, and this is a nationally recognised council qualification. The Town Council also employed 2 staff, a part-time office assistant who works up to 18 hours per week. This contract has incorporated flexible hours of working to accommodate the busy family life of working parents. The office assistant is managed and trained by the clerk to the council. The clerk to the council, Miss Alison Greaves, carries out all the duties associated with the running of the council administration, ensuring the council operates and performs all of its statutory legal requirements Having joined the council in 2009 as an assistant clerk, Miss Greaves became clerk to the council in 2016, and in line with the council's requirements, undertook and achieved the qualification Certificate in Local Council Administration, known as SILCA. This was confirmed by the Society of Local Council Clerks, the SLCC, in April 2019.
That means a round of applause.
Thank you, Mrs. Lucas. The qualification provides a broad knowledge of all aspects of a clerk's work, roles and responsibilities, the law, procedures, finance planning and community involvement, and being a Level 3 foundation qualification for local council officers and others working with local councils. As a result of this qualification, and the council having the required elected number of councillors, the council can continue to adopt the general power of competence. This states that a parish council has the powers to do anything that individuals generally may do, as long as they do not break other laws. It has wider powers that deliver more for the communities. Looking back over the last year, the chairman reported at the last town meeting, I am pleased to advise that the council received an unqualified external audit certificate 2016-17. An unqualified external audit means we have fully satisfied audit requirements, backed up that the internal audit and the external auditor have no concerns. This evening, I'd like to echo in part the words of that former chairman and mayor by saying, I am pleased to advise that the council received an unqualified external auditor's certificate 2017-18. The council's income from council taxpayers. Last year demand was £273,990. This year it is £265,180, which is a reduction of £8,810. The adoption of a strategic plan was undertaken in 2018. The high-level document is under constant review, along with all the council's policies, procedures and regulations. The town council owns, manages or maintains 3 open spaces within the town. These are Cuts Close, Royce's Recreation Ground and the open space off Barleythorpe Road, known formerly as the Tresham Land and more recently referred to as the Centenary Field. It also has a long lease on the Willow Crescent play area. In addition, it owns 4 areas of allotments, namely Kilburn Road, Burley Road, Elm Close and Willow Crescent. These are managed on the Town Council's behalf by 2 allotment societies who each pay an annual rent. The Town Council also owns the land at the Vale, which is occupied by Oakham Tennis Club and Oakham Bowls Club, as well as a community centre on Princess Avenue. All of these community assets contribute to the well-being of the Oakham people, offering recreational activities and complement the open green spaces already mentioned. Rutland House Community Trust Limited leases an area of land off Willow Crescent and provides a residential home for people with a range of disabilities. Recently, the council agreed to further development of that facility and is currently working closely with the RHCT. The discussions are ongoing and there is actually opportunity now for the Town Council to be able to demonstrate by their actions through support of an essential community asset by reviewing the whole package associated with this development. In plain speak, the council, I feel, could now offer a reduced rent and or fees, as the facility directly supports Oakham and Rutland residents. I believe the council would appreciate any feedback from residents who share this vision. The council is also responsible for the management and maintenance of the public toilets in Church Street, car park, 2 car charging points at the same location, and currently the Town Council leases its offices and chamber situated here in the Victoria Hall. The arrangement helps support the Victoria Hall as an important community asset. The Town Council contributes to the grounds maintenance of the closed All Saints churchyard, and in the last 2 years undertook the transfer of community lighting unmetered energy costs from the Rutland County Council at a cost of £11,499.97 per annum, subject to annual increases. In the last year, 2018-19, the Town Council as a whole have made significant improvements to the path on Cuts Close that runs from Burley Road to Church Street. The path was uneven, breaking up, and in places less than 400 millimetres wide. The project was accomplished by utilising community levy money which was specifically earmarked for town improvements. Equally, a task and finish work group of the council saw a revised Christmas lighting offering which was well received. Even what appear less significant projects, activities or just general maintenance go very much unnoticed on a day-to-day basis. The benches do not maintain themselves, and the annual painting programme and replacement of old and damaged benches ensure the green spaces are geared towards a leisurely approach. 2018 saw the repainting of the railings around Cuts Close and the Centenary Field. It is suspected the first time this has happened since the railings were installed. The installation of a vehicle barrier at Cuts Close was a long overdue replacement and helps ensure that vehicular access to this prominent, well-utilised green space, complete with goalposts being purchased in 2018, is controlled. The Town Council continued with its programme in 2018 of band concerts, family fun day and other activities. One particular councillor, Councillor Sally Ann Wadsworth, has really taken ownership, and I'm sure my fellow councillors will agree that Councillor Wadsworth's commitment deserves a mention. The green spaces continue to be utilised for other events: the circus, the fair, the proms concert by the Rutland Concert Band, and a candlelight lit walk, to mention the main activities. All of these types of activity are welcome, encouraged, and will continue. The council continue to support Oakham in Bloom with money from the precept used for town centre floral displays that enhance the town's appearance and again generate a feeling of well-being for residents and visitors alike. In 2018, the council supported the national 100th commemoration of the Great War, 1914-1918. The support included a grant to Arts for Rutland, who commissioned the World War I community play, and it is hoped that this play will soon become a radio play. The council also supported the Centenary Field scheme and granted permission and completed the registration covering the legal fees for this significant green space. They also allowed the installation of 2 remembrance benches and an information board, the cost of £4,000 being met by other sponsors. One of the largest undertakings the Town Council has been involved in is the Oakham and Barleythorpe Neighbourhood Plan. Currently the plan is now at a point where the public consultation should allow, and that it is expected the plan will be adopted subject to all the feedback. Reread that again, I got that wrong. Currently, occasionally I get things wrong. Currently, the plan is now at a point where the public consultation should follow, and that expected the plan will be adopted and subject to all the feedback. That was right, wasn't it? I said that right the first time.
Yes, you did.
I think maybe I just wanted to say it twice, because we are that close. The commitment that has gone into the neighbourhood plan, it should be noted, has been made by members of the community, not councillors. There have been representatives from the Oakham and Barleythorpe councils. However, the chairman and main committee are all volunteers. The cost of the neighbourhood plan has, in my opinion, been kept to a minimum. Where available, neighbourhood plan grants have been accessed. Looking forward, the town council still have to land the neighbourhood plan. So I'd ask that when it comes to the public consultation, get involved. After all, it's your plan. The council are only really just facilitating it. We cannot ignore the extensive tree surveys and subsequent works which should be undertaken over the next 12 months, along with the recurring playground reports. Both of these need to be actioned using the appropriate earmarked budgets from the precept. The completion of the Rutland House Community Trust facility, already mentioned, I believe we should support in a way that we are no longer just the landlord, but a sponsor and partner. Every councillor should be prepared to complete the required training in order to fulfil the role they have chosen to undertake as town councillors. Equally, there is an expectation that as councillors, we will continue to have representatives on Citizens' Advice, trustees of Victoria Hall, Parish Forum, Memorial Institute, Oakham United Charities, Rutland Together, Oakham in Bloom, Rutland Access Group, Military Commemorations Committee, the Parish Forum Working Group, the St George Barracks, and the Oakham Partnership Board, which I believe replaces the Oakham Tarston Finish Group. Toward the end of the year, the twinning of our town with Barmstead, Germany was re-established, with visits now having taken place by both towns to each other. Where the town council do not have a specific representative, working group or committee in place, it is beneficial to both communities and their wider regions to maintain this friendship as it links in with tourism, and I would welcome the council helping this friendship to continue to grow. My time as the chairman and mayor of Oakham this last year has been very rewarding. Both myself and my wife consider it a great honour and privilege to have been asked to represent the town. It was a good year with only highlights. My chosen charity, Out of Hours Club Rutland, was an excellent organisation to support because of what they themselves do for the community, which is what makes the role so rewarding. Meeting and supporting such organisations. On saying all of that, yes, I am looking forward to passing the chain on at the AGM to a new chairman and mayor. And the only words of advice and support I can offer: enjoy the role, throw yourself into it, and you will reap the rewards of fulfilment and satisfaction of what is a dream job, just without the pay. I will be staying on the town council. However, I am planning on taking a step back, partly because I have occupied very high profile roles on the council for several years, and it's time to let the rest, maybe the best, be put to the test. Also, I have recently changed my job and I'm learning a new role with that. My focus on the council is to understand more about the working of a council, and my personal focus will be the financial procedures and regulations, as this is an area where I feel I should understand more. Thank you again for your support and your attendance this evening. If there are any questions, I will take them now. Any I am unable to give an immediate response to will be followed up in writing if that is agreeable. It's actually non-negotiable, because if I don't know the answers, I can't give it. It would help when asking questions if you could state your name and if you represent any specific organisation or ward.
Well done.
Before we go on to the questions bit, part 2 of the agenda is just confirmation of the minutes of the annual town meeting held on Tuesday, the 8th of May 2018. There are some copies which we hadn't handed around. I didn't want people being distracted while I was rattling on. I wasn't here last May. Neither was the clerk. There are copies there for anybody who wants to take them away, they can do. But all I can do is I've looked through the minutes. I wasn't here. All I can do is confirm that these are what was written down. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, now you can object away.
I was not a councillor this time last year, but I did raise the question, why did the Oakham Town Council not at any point in the previous year discuss the question of the one-way system? And it was discussed, and several other questions on the same questions were raised, but it's not in the minutes.
Right, okay. Can you add that to the minutes, please? Yeah. Unfortunately, the clerk wasn't at the meeting last year, so she didn't take the minutes. So. Okay. Has those questions that you raised last year, were you given answers? Have they since been answered by the council?
No.
Right. Did you still want an answer?
It was fairly obvious.
Okay, so you don't, right. So the question was raised again, but Mrs. Clough doesn't want an answer this evening, and I'm unable to give it anyway. Any other questions or points that anybody would like to make? I'll Councillor Skipwith at the back, or Mrs. Skipwith at the back. Sorry, Mrs. Skipwith. You don't have to stand, by the way.
Oh, I'm going to stand.
We can see you now.
Oh, good. Right. Well, there are two things, really.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm right in thinking it or not right. But I am concerned. I do believe, but I have tried to find it on various websites, but you know that I'm not very good on the computer anyway, who our new councillors are. I'm aware that two of them have actually stood and are now on Rutland County Council. I know that you are, and I know that you're an independent, which is fine. But two of them, at least, that are on are Conservatives. Now, I always understood that the town council or parish council haven't anything to do with political stance. How can somebody who is standing for a party in one council in town stand for one that's not politically involved? That's my first question. And the second question is that I do feel it's rather a snub to the town meeting. I know that they're not actually councillors till they sign a bit of paper, but they are. And as from Oakham South, where we had an election, I'm not aware that any others have because I've tried to find out and haven't been able to, but was there any other election areas or not? That's one of my questions. And also, why aren't they here to show their faces? Because one of them didn't even give an address.
Okay, I can't answer the third question. I don't know what other people's diaries are. I dare say they must have something significant. What was the second question? I didn't pick up on the second question too well.
The names of
the names of them are.
The
I mean, there's.
Well, I know two of them.
They're on our website. There's
Mr. Rozelle and Mr. Woodley, but there was another one.
There's a Mr. Ainsley.
Did he stand for the council?
He stood for the county council, and there's also Mr. Walters, and he was also on the county council. All the four new councillors that stood, new councillors this year, are all members of the Conservative Party, and they stood on the county council as Conservative candidates. Now, Rutland County Council is a political council. The Oakham Town Council is not a political council, and it just so happens that they are standing as Conservatives on there, but we are not a political council. So they may be members of the Conservative Party, but that will have no impact on us that I'm aware of at the moment.
I'm sorry, it's Anne Skipwith again. I'm sorry
No,
to keep saying
no,
this,
I
but I don't agree with you as they're there for the time being.
Okay.
If you are sorry, if you are a councillor and you are standing for a party, you are a member of that party, and I'm sorry, but it's bound to overlap because you know that things that we discuss are then passed on to the Rutland County Council, and I just don't think this sounds right. I'm sorry, I'm going to say
no, that's fine. You're perfectly entitled to raise these concerns and these opinions. I mean, when I joined the council last year, I was on the county council and the town council. And I was down as an independent on the county council, but also I was a member of the Conservative Party anyway. But I didn't declare myself as a Conservative candidate, partly because when I stood as an independent. Yeah. But I've been a member of the Conservative Party for many years.
But you stood as an independent.
But I stood as an independent, yes. But I never went into either of the councils, the town or the county, with an agenda mindset from one or the other. And if you do, you have to declare if you believe there is a conflict of interest anyway. So we have to rely on the professionalism of these four individuals.
Which we don't even know who they are.
I have no doubt that they are more than capable of managing and doing the right thing. I have no concerns about that in the slightest. I've met two of them, so I know them. Let's see if Mrs. Clifton would like to. You're going to ask a question.
I was. Well, first of all, I would still like to say thank you very much. Because the question that I raised last year was whether our clerk was qualified. and you've already answered that question because during the year she has attained the qualification. And I think this is lovely, and thank you very much, and that my question from last year has been more than satisfying.
Thank you.
As chairman of the Conservative Association, which is another hat I wear, I do not see that there is ever a conflict of interest from whether they are on the county council or the town council. They bring their expertise, and there are enough members of the town council to override them if you think that they don't want to do what the county council.
I share your opinion, Mrs. Clifton, and I take it that each individual will do the right thing, and that's what I expect. The four gentlemen concerned are all professional gentlemen, from what I understand, and I have no reason to doubt that. It's interesting, when I worked with Melton Borough Council in the last 18 months, is that the number of councillors on there, and that's a political council as well, that were also on parish councils was quite a lot. And I'm actually quite pleased that we've got so many county councillors on the town council, partly because people were saying that I couldn't do both councils. Well, now they've got to say that to all five of us. It's not that difficult, and in actual fact, working on the town council helped bring something for me to the county council, and working on the county council equally. So there were benefits for both. The only thing is whether individuals have time, because there is a lot of reading and a lot of preparation. I wish I was getting paid for it all, but I'm not. So, does that answer your questions, Mrs.? Thank you very much.
I don't think there are four that are on ours.
Yes.
Four new ones on ours.
Yes.
We've only got 5 in the south, though.
There's
I was
4.
talking about the south.
Yes. Oh, sorry. There's one on the northwest and one on the
Was there
northeast.
an election for that? Were they the only ones that had an election?
Yes.
Well, then, isn't it very sad?
It
Ladies
is.
and gentlemen, isn't it absolutely so destroying that there are not enough people in Oakham to actually stand for the council? I am appalled, and that makes it even worse that those people that were voted for haven't come today.
Indeed. Mr. Clough.
Point of information, my understanding is, reference has been made to the fact that they're not here, my understanding is that they are all attending another meeting at the county council, and therefore they are split. They can't attend, they can't be in two places at once.
No, that's quite possible, and obviously if they are attending another meeting, it won't be in their capacity as councillors, because they're not councillors yet, because they haven't signed their office of notice, which they can't do until tomorrow, and I know that because I'm in the same boat. So if they are attending another meeting, then they're doing it in their own capacity, and so that is, and it's perfectly fine that people have got other commitments.
Can I just make another point?
I was going to go to ethics tonight.
As far as Oakham is concerned, with its 4 wards,
Yes.
Oakham South was the only one that was contested.
Yes.
6 for the town council, 6 candidates for 5 places.
Mm-hmm.
The other 3 town wards were not contested, and therefore there was no election for those. But also, only 3 parish wards in the whole of the county were contested. And, you know, which is a reflection of public interest or lack of.
Yes.
And in many of the smaller parish councils, there were far fewer people standing than there are vacancies.
Yes. It is true, and when we were doing the workup training for this, a couple of councillors, in fact I think Councillor Clough was with us when we was at Anstey, weren't we? And the trainers said that we should be encouraging for the elections to be contested. We want more people to stand, and we want people to come out and vote. But it's one thing getting people to stand, it's also getting people to vote as well. I encourage everybody to do postal voting.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're not interrupting it. We welcome your
Thank
words.
you. Just wondered what the turnout was for Oakham South, because I have tried to find out, and I can't find out.
What?
41.5 was the turnout.
Percent?
Percent for the whole of them.
We will endeavour to find out for you, Mr. Skipwood, and find out. Yes, I'm sure there'll be some analytical deep dark file on RCC's website that is just waiting to be unlocked and looked into. So, Mr. Stubbs, good evening, sir. Stan, good evening.
Good evening.
Or did you say Stan?
What was interesting, only one of the 6 members that was standing in Oakham South bothered to come and knock at our door.
Oh, right, okay. This wasn't, not, once again, this wasn't uncommon. There was a few people that I've spoken to across the county where they've not had door knocking or even leaflets. In fact, we were chatting only yesterday evening to a local printer who had had very few people come to him because they'd all used out-of-town printers. So, and that wasn't just particular to our parish council where people have been noticed for it. It was also county councils as well.
Yeah.
So the same people that are saying that people should use Rutland, but people do things for whatever reason, and I can't miss. I'm not judging anybody. Good evening, Paul.
Just say,
Mr. Buxton.
gentlemen, that I put myself around about 2,000 leaflets. I spoke to about 12 people on the door. Frankly, had I knocked on every door, I think I would have got about 50 round. So that's really, I prioritise the leaflets over knocking at the doors. So I'm sorry if I missed you.
It was in our room.
Yeah. But,
100 yards from where you live.
well, you could always call to see me if you like me.
But you're not wanted to be elected. I'm not.
Well, you don't but I did go to a meeting. Yeah.
So therefore it's up to you to
But you can't do
No,
those things.
look, Anne,
Oh, no.
I'm making a point. So you did join in.
Thank you, Mr. Buxton. Thank you. Now, Mrs. Lucas wanted to raise a point.
First of all, the new councillors, I take it they knew about this meeting.
Everybody, the whole town knew, but there's not.
Well, have we had any apologies from the new councillors? Even though...
Mr. Razzle. Mr. Razzle.
Mr. Razzle.
Right.
Mr. Razzle.
I'm making a statement purely aimed at the people that are not here.
I'll just, before you make your statement, Mrs. Luke, I will point out that none of the councillors are summoned to this meeting.
No.
So they do not have to submit apologies. So I appreciate those councillors that have turned up. And in actual, I'm quite pleased that Mr. Razzle.
I haven't finished yet. Thank you.
Carry on, Mrs. Lucas.
For new councillors, for returning councillors, a bit of advice. Not to be a one-item agenda councillor. That is to say, one-way systems, flowers, National Health Service, or whatever else they're on the council for. It is the holistic responsibility. Never ever listen to lies or hearsay. Get the facts. Ask advice before you decide to do anything of the clerk or the what I would term, and somebody else would term, the old guard. Looking on the bright side, the duration of the council meetings will be much shorter and with no extensions. And I think I just wish all Oakham Town councillors the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Lucas. Mrs. Clough, you wanted to raise a question, I think.
Were the all councillors advised of this meeting, including the newly elected ones?
It's been a public notice, it's on the website and it's been on the notice boards.
So
I didn't hear any of that.
it's been this meeting is advertised in the public notice board and is on the website. I believe some of them are asked anyway, didn't they?
Yeah, a lot of that, yeah.
But we're not going to name names because it would be unfair. So everyone was aware, but as Mr. Clough's already alluded to, there are other things. I mean, I had to come away from a school governors meeting this evening half an hour earlier than normal, so that I could make sure I could make this. So, any other questions? Any other points?
So was it advertised in the local paper? Because I didn't know about it till somebody told me.
No, it wasn't, and it could be, in actual fact, that maybe I think moving forward, because the town council doesn't want to be accused because we don't run away or hide from the public. We want the public here. We've had some really good meetings when we did the tennis court lights, when we've done other what are quite significant things. We have encouraged the public to come along. So I think if we take a note that next year we should put it in the paper because it should be advertised. There should be more people here than this, I think.
It was on some of the council publication, that's where I saw it.
Right, okay. So, yeah, so thank you, it's a good point. Anything else? No? Oh. Well, it's only 18:35. So if there's no other points, I will. Oh, Mr. Pluffy.
We haven't actually received the minutes.
Oh, well, they're here.
We've talked about
I
them. but-
proposed it.
Well, did you want me to read them out?
No,
All right.
I mean, they're being proposed and seconded. We haven't actually accepted them.
All right. Okay. Well, been proposed by Mrs. Lucas.
We don't normally.
We don't. Historically, the council hasn't. But does anybody want? Should we have a show of hands if we accept the
I've
minutes?
seen them and we've already heard that there's something missed out, that's all.
Well, that's going to be added in. So. I mean, ordinarily, what will happen, and what's happened historically, is that at the AGM, the minutes are presented and they just get signed as being
Yes.
as accurate a record as they can be. So that's all I can do this
Can
evening.
we be assured that they will be put on the town council's website?
We can guarantee that those minutes here, this from last year, will be on the website. The minutes from this evening will be on the website this month. Is that reasonable? Yes? And also my rather lengthy public address, apologies for that, but wanted to make sure I covered everything, will also be on there as well.
But I don't think any of the earlier ones are,
Right.
as far as I know.
Okay. They will be on there. Well, this one and last year certainly will be. Thank you. So, but I will be signing to accept these minutes. Say I wasn't here, and it seems a bit peculiar because normally we wouldn't acknowledge minutes if people weren't there. But at this time of the year, you can actually have a complete change of faces, and they might. So it's really unusual. But I see most AGMs do this, don't they?
Do show of hands.
So happy that I signed these minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, good, brilliant. Yeah, that's one hand is fine for me. Two hands is even better. So I'll be doing that in a moment with the clerk. So if there's no other points, then we'll formally close.
Question.
Oh, sorry, yes,
Are
please.
the neighbourhood plan posters up on all the town council notice board yet?
I haven't been given any yet.
I sent them.
These are the ones that.
It started on Monday, so there should be posters all over town.
I haven't. The office hasn't received any.
It was Clark. It was Chris.
Christmas said he gave Alison 10.60 to put up,
Okay, we will chase that up tomorrow then.
but they should be on all the town council
Yes.
notice boards.
We'll chase it up tomorrow with Chris, Mr. Clark, and we will make sure that if we haven't got them, we will get them and they are up. So
Is everybody aware that it started on Monday?
yes, it did. Yeah. Can you make a note and just make a note that.
But I haven't.
That can be, yeah, thank you.
Will it be on the website as well?
What, the neighbourhood plan?
On the neighbourhood
Yeah.
plan website.
Yeah, so it's because that's right. I saw an email from. Yeah, I had an email coming through saying that all the documents which had been updated are now on the. Just a point in actual fact that the neighbourhood plan has got a website, and Paul Downs.
Yeah, Paul.
Paul sent an email only, was it yesterday, stating that all of the, remember that draft document that wasn't overly well received, it's now had all the feedback to update it and correct all the whatever, and that has been uploaded onto the neighbourhood plan website.
And does the town council website
Links to it, doesn't
link
it?
to
No, it doesn't.
Oh, I thought it did. That will be done tomorrow as well. Make sure the Oakham Town, I thought the Oakham Town Council had a link to it. Okay, no, we'll be done. So it's a late flurry of questions, you see. Mrs. Clifton.
Perhaps this is obvious to everyone else, but I'll ask the question anyway. The neighbourhood plan people
Yes.
aren't elected, they are just volunteers.
Yes.
So I assume their findings are coming back to the council to debate before they're forwarded anywhere else, because the council are our representatives.
Yes, but I would say partly yes and yes. Yes, in actual fact, because they produced the documents and the town council got to review a draft document, and there was extensive feedback given back to the neighbourhood plan people and also the body that, what's the name of the organisation from Lincoln? Open Plan, which is the organisation that helped prepare it. And there was some criticism of the neighbourhood plan on how it had been written because as a draft it didn't come across too favourably. And it was updated, and then it came back. It's come back to the town council. There is an element though where there's something called Regulation 14, I think it is, where the neighbourhood plan is actually going into a consultation phase where all the members of the public will soon be getting an opportunity to see it, which is what was just being alluded to there.
Sorry, I was not with.
It's available now, isn't it? And any feedback that comes back from that will go back to the neighbourhood plan and they will update it. But Mr Buxton's going to give me some additional information now, which I think this is an
It's only to answer Patsy's question. They do plan to bring the draft that they have now back to the council for scrutiny before they submit it. Which hasn't been done yet.
Is it coming in June?
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
We can't squeeze it into the May meeting.
Yeah,
but it will be in June.
it will be brought back.
But we are getting public. It's gone out.
There's copies in the library and the museum.
Yeah. So
Just to read there, not to take away, and there's link on the website.
and the website's updated. Mrs Lucas.
Have we finished on that topic?
I think so. For now.
Can I just give a vote of thanks to your wife who has supported you throughout? I'm sorry, but the same thing happens when I was mayor. Bob supported me, and it's always worth noting that that's what happens. That's why I'm sorry to have to continue with this. I got the BEM, but I couldn't have got it without Bob.
I haven't got one. Thank you. Yes, thank you to Mrs Lowe. She does put up with an awful lot.
It's going to ask me by the drinks now.
I think she's quite pleased I'm working away from home now. Right.
Can we go?
Well, only I want to make sure we've drawn as much blood out of this stone as we can, really, because it's been a good year. It has. I've really enjoyed it, and I think we've achieved a lot.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. So I'm now going to say it's 1841, and we'll close it. And I think you're all free to leave. So these came in.